Her name is Mariah.
And her name is Grecia.
And welcome to our YouTube channel.
Alright guys, so for this video, we are going to be talking about restaurant jobs.
And if you worked at a restaurant, you know that working in the service business can be a blessing or a curse.
If you have ever worked in a restaurant, you should be able to understand the struggles that we go through every day going into work.
It can be a great thing sometimes, but it can be such a headache.
I want to say that some of the things that are probably the worst about working in restaurants is the customers themselves. And they're very specific type of customers too. They're the kinds that are very demanding. They think that they own the place. They walk around like, I need this, I need that, and you have to do exactly what I say because you work for me kind of attitude. And that's seriously the hardest part, when all you can do as an employee at the restaurant that you're at is just put on a happy face and say yes, of course.
True, that's really the worst.
So we've been in different positions in the restaurant business. Her specifically, she's been both a hostess, bartender, barback, server.
I've done a little bit of everything.
She's done everything.
I've done private parties, residencies, restaurants, events, just things like that. So I kind of seen a little bit of everything. This is really, sounds like dumb, but it can be such a pain in the ass when people just go and sit themselves down and then they get mad because nobody has came to attend them. As a customer, you don't know that area is being used. Just because it's empty doesn't mean that it has a server there. Number two, you don't know that table, it has been reserved. Number three, when customers sit down themselves and the tables haven't been redone yet, and then they like wave at you like this, like
over here, I want this table.
Clean it.
This one right here.
If you would have just waited 1 minute, we could have sat you somewhere where it was actually clean and ready for you. That's one of the things. What's your number one?
I think my number one pet peeve would be not sitting where they want to. There's a seating arrangement that we're trying to follow. If the couple or the group of people that I sit don't want to sit where they want to sit, I respect it if they are nice about it and tell me like, oh, is there other places that we can sit? We're willing to wait for another table, you know, stuff like that. At least they're being respectful. Yeah. But if I walk away and they're gone from the table that I sat them at and they're at some other table and then people are complaining to me like, whoa, where did they come from? I don't know where they are. Do you know what I mean?
When you sit someone down at a table, they move to another table and then you bring someone else to that table, but it's being occupied and then you look like a because you walked someone to
a table that's already being sat at.
I just sat you at table 10. What are you doing at table 20?
That's like a really big pet peeve because that can seriously screw up your rotation, because there's a lot of people that haven't worked in restaurants don't understand this concept. There's such thing as a rotation. There's such thing as seating arrangement.
There's a certain capacity for the kitchen. Like they can only cook so many plates in an amount of time. As a host, you have to sit them on the time. Like you have to kind of try them, spread them out. Yeah. So it helps the server and it helps the kitchen not to get all the tickets at once, but kind of gives them a little bit of time.
And that's what I think is like some people aren't considering, is that they're not being respectful to the restaurant business itself, because we run like a machine. You know, like if this ends up over here, it sort of like messes this up, which will mess up something over here, which will then become a ripple effect, and then you're just screwed over.
Then if you're the hostess, all the servers hate you. Because you're
like, why did you triple seat me? Why did you put this couple
here?
That's my favorite. That's thing too.
That's my favorite. When, you know, you're just there working, your tables are all open, and all of a sudden you just go and take a sip of water and come back, and they literally sat you 4 tables at once, and one of the tables is like a tent top, and the other one's like you know, have like kids and like stressed as parents, and they just want the food like right now because the kids are like yelling and screaming.
So that could be another thing too. It's not always the guests that can be a problem. It could be sometimes a dysfunction in the restaurant itself. The restaurant that I'm currently working at is styled differently. I'm working at a restaurant that is communal seating. It's like teppanyaki, so the chef is in front of you. So you do tend to work a lot with everyone in the restaurant as a team, and it sort of becomes a Tetris game. That's when it gets most difficult, when people don't sit where I put them, because that's like the biggest deal. Because we're supposed to build tables. 9 seats go around one grill, and if this party sits here and this party sits here and there's gaps in between, then I lost out on another party of 2 that I could have sat there. So things like that, that's where it can also like screw me over if I don't do it properly.
One other thing, you know, okay guys, if you worked at a restaurant, I'm sure this happened to you. You go and You serve everything to the table, you know, everybody looks good, everybody looks fine, and you ask them, do you need anything else? Are there any condiments I can bring to the table? No.
I'm good, no thanks, I'm fine. I've got everything I want.
Well, if you need anything else, please let me know.
All right, thank you.
Walks away. Next thing you see, your manager talking to the table, and then they come right out to you, and they're like, your table needs ketchup and water, and they also like to order something else.
When someone complains about their food when they are 95% done with it.
Don't you love that?
Oh, I'm sorry, this burger was a little too well done and I want this all comped. Like, it wasn't good. So, but can I get a box with it as well? Frickin' speechless. I've had this happen so many times where a guest complains about their food after eating majority of it, asking that they should get a discount, that they should get something free, that they deserve like a comped dessert or whatever the case is, and then they ask for a box to take it home. Ever have that happen to you, Grecia?
This is what happened. One of my coworkers went to break. I was gonna break him. So he comes to introduce me to all his tables. We go to this table. They had one plate for one breakfast for both of them. My coworker tells them, you know, I'm gonna go on a quick break. If you need anything else, just let Grecia know. She's gonna take care of you. Awesome. Do you need anything? I always ask. Like, I'm already there. You know, do you need anything? Sometimes they want something. No, we're good. We're Gucci mate. Okay, cool. I see that they're like about done, so I come back with like water to just refill water on the table, and then the guy just tells me like, you know, this breakfast was just horrible. My poached eggs were overdone, and they're like all soaky in water. I don't think I can pay for this breakfast. So I go talk to my manager, and they ended up comping everything out, but it's just one of those things that you're just like, really? Tell me more about that.
That's so annoying, is when we reward bad behavior. I understand that the manager's job is to make the customers happy when something goes wrong in the restaurant, but if people are deliberately trying to screw us over, is when I get really freaking pissed.
I can't eat soft eggs. I can't. I totally understand when somebody asks for their eggs over hard. I put over, you know, and then they come out of the kitchen like over medium. Might not be a big difference, but if you are just like me that you can't stand the smell of raw egg, it can ruin your food. Okay. So I understand that, that's fine. I'll go get your eggs cooked. You're cool. I mean, I even talked to my manager and tell him to give you a discount, like if they keep screwing you up. It's just, when you're almost done with your meal and there's something wrong with it, no, it's you. There's something wrong with you.
Come on. Be considerate, you know?
When you have a big party and they all want separate checks.
Oh my god, the separate checks! Do you have any idea how difficult that is for a server to be, especially if they're kids and they're jumping seats and playing freaking musical chairs?
Wanting separate checks and playing musical chairs for a party of 15, not okay.
Not a good thing. Not cool. Come on.
That's not cool.
Not cool.
That's not cool.
If you have not worked in the restaurant, I get that you don't understand this concept, but when you are jumping seats and moving around, you are screwing up with the server's mind, because the food is based off where you sit. Each table is numbered, as well as all the chairs being numbered. So if this meal goes to seat 1 and this meal goes to seat 2 and so on, all the way to 15, then you move around, that plate is going to seat 1, and if you're in seat 15, then you're getting the wrong meal. And then that's when everyone's gonna be like, oh, that's mine, oh, that's mine, no, I got that, no, over there, that one's mine, can I have that over here?
Terrible service. You come and find my food. Like, stop
we
moving.
see hundreds of people every day, so excuse me if I can't mesmerize your face for the 2 seconds that I saw you when I was taking your order. Oh my god. For restaurants, servers are solely working for their tips.
Yeah.
Do some people not realize that this is what servers are working for? They get shit paychecks.
And they don't keep all the money.
Yeah, exactly.
I tip out like
bartenders,
8% or more of breaker, roller, busser, runner, bar, and if you're tipping a hose.
Realize that, you know, servers
so you spend $50 and you live $2 tip. Yeah. Thank you.
Just keep that in mind the next time you go out to eat, because servers, again, they work hard. And that's why it sucks sometimes, because they feel so underappreciated when you work so hard for this party and then you're left with like a shit tip, and you know, like, why did I work so hard if this is how they're gonna treat me?
Let's say the good things. One of the things I like about the restaurant business is that I've met so many people from like all over the world. Like, literally. I have met people from everywhere, and it's interesting.
Another thing I probably like about working in restaurants is the free food. And you do get to meet a lot of really cool people. In all honesty, I will tell you this is kind of like a side note for me. What I like to do for fun, and I think I mentioned this in a very previous video, like one of our first, was that I love to dance. One of my coworkers is a dancer, and he asked me to be a part of his team, and now I'm officially a part of the dance team. Yay! And that would not have happened had I started working in restaurants.
The way that we went to camp.
Yes, exactly. We went to camp because I worked at a freaking restaurant.
Oh my god, I thought of something amazing. They work with your school schedule, which is like their #1 reason that anybody actually does want to be a server. At my job particularly right now, they work incredibly well with my schedule.
I think the takeaway as far as working in a restaurant altogether is that it teaches us about hard work, and it teaches us respect for others. And since I ever started working in a restaurant, I've had a whole nother perspective on what to expect and how to treat others that I'm going to the restaurant to. I almost always tip 20%. Whether their service was like phenomenal, then I'll give them extra, but if it was just like okay service, like I'm always between like 15 and 20%. That's just being courteous, because I know that these people are working really hard for their money, and I would hate to be that person that shit on them because I'm that kind of customer.
You never know what has happened for them through the day. They must be like the best server, and they're just having the worst customers, and you can be that one person that makes their day. Like, what? This person left me, you know, like $8. It's cool. It will make their day.
So I think that's probably the plus side of working in a restaurant, is what I learned overall as a person.
My takeaway from a restaurant business is that I have learned to manage stress. You can be in very, very stressful situations. And because I am in school for healthcare, it's very important to be able to prioritize. It's like multitasking, but under a lot of fucking pressure. Time management.
There's another thing too. Alright guys, so that was just a little bit of a rant on what it's like working in a restaurant.
We had a great time making this video for you.
And we would really like to read if you've ever had any crazy experiences in a restaurant yourself.
So please like this video
and hit that subscribe button below, and thank you for watching!
Gonna be today's song. Ooh, ooh. Should we do finesse?
Sure.
1, 2.
Oh my god. Serge is gonna hate us for that. He always hates when I dab.
Serge, if you watch this video, comment below.
Do it!